Hello and welcome back to Weston the Historian. Today I wanted to talk about some things I thought were kind of interesting, some parallels I noticed between the philosophy of Plato and the philosophy of traditionalists. So, first of all, I need to explain what traditionalist is. Traditionalists basically believed, this is a very basic breakdown of overall what they mostly believed, is that pretty much every world religion is a reflection of this one true source, this one true tradition, capital T tradition. And I noticed, and I thought this was very interesting, that this idea that all religions are a breakdown, a reflection of this one true capital T tradition, parallels with Plato's theory of the forms. So Plato's theory of the forms is that just about everything is basically a reflection of a higher reality, the true reality, which lies beyond our conception, right? So there's he called it the theory of the forms. So basically, for every book, no matter how distinct they are, there's all of these books which are a mere reflection of the form of the book. And basically, yeah, the world of forms is like this metaphysical reality, which lies beyond our physical reality. And Plato believed it was a job of philosophers to unlock the truth of the forms and to learn more about the forms. And similarly, traditionalists, a lot of them believe that was a role of, not all of them would use the term philosophers, because a lot of them had problems with philosophy itself, but they essentially believed it was the role of what I could probably call the priestly caste, because that's what traditionalists would have used, to unlock the truth and the esoteric knowledge of capital T tradition. And so there's a lot of parallels there, but even further, a lot of traditionalists talked about the world of being and becoming, which is almost identical to Plato's theory of the forms. So basically, we are living in the world of becoming. It's this ever-changing world, always in flux. Some of you who have researched into the philosophy of Heraclitus will know that he basically believed that the world, the most dominating element in the world is fire, because fire is always changing and the world is always changing. So basically the world is fire. And not only that, but Heraclitus said that once a man steps into a river, if he ever steps into that river again, he is not stepping into the same river and he is not the same man, because we are living in a world where the river is always changing and the man is always changing, the world is always changing. So everything is always changing, everything is always in flux, so everything is always becoming. So we are living in what some traditionalists would call a world of becoming. Then there's a world of being. This is a metaphysical reality. This is where nothing is ever really changing. Everything is always stable. Everything is always immovable. There's Christians, us Christians will know that God is never changing. He is the same yesterday as today as forever and ever. And, he is the same God in the Old Testament as the New Testament to now. There is no, changing God. There is no, changing morals with the times or anything. He is the same God he was yesterday as today. And so that is a reflection of the world of being. And you will also notice from Plato's idea of the forms, basically with all of these changing objects, all of these objects which will change and become and do all this, there is a world of forms where nothing is ever really changing. It's all the same. For example, like, well, in our world, I might take a white flag and I might paint over it and I might burn it. All this might happen to it. But in the form of the white flag, it's never going to change. It will always be a white flag. It will always be the form of the white flag. There will never be any change with that. So there is one distinction between these. Of course, Plato and the traditionalists had a lot of different ideas. However, there is one specific difference within Plato's idea of the forms and the role of philosophers and the traditionalist view of the world of being and becoming and the priestly caste. So the difference is that Plato believed that the theory of the form or the world of forms could be revealed through reason, through rational discourse, through thinking through this, But traditionalists would have disagreed. They would have believed that it was knowledge which can only be gained through initiation is one way, initiation into religious groups, but also through super-rational methods, ways that transcend reason, because, these are concepts, like this world of transcendence, of being, of all this. This is something which is, according to traditionalists, impossible to realize through mere reason. You have to experience it. You have to have visions of it. You have to have all of these super rational occurrences of it. So, Plato might have said you can reach this through thinking and through discourse. A traditionalist would say this can only really be revealed through deep meditation and solitude and all this, and not as much, trying to use reason to figure it out, because this is something above reason. So, anyway, that pretty much concludes my video. I don't have much else to say about this. I would suggest, in order to know more about this, reading Plato's Republic does not talk as much about the forms as some of his other works. That's just what I'm reading through. But I would suggest reading the works of Plato. But if you want to read an actual traditionalist, because I don't think I actually named any, René Guénon is one. He wrote The Crisis of the Modern World. He wrote some other books about traditionalism and other religions. He wrote some books about specific traditions. I know he wrote a book specifically about Hinduism, but and I think he wrote books about Christian mysticism and all these bizarre things. But yeah, if you want to learn more about Plato's philosophy, read Plato. If you want to read more about traditionalism, read René Guénon, who I already mentioned. I think there's some others, but yeah. So that is pretty much all I have to say. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.